Titles. Go. Kev.
I'm talking about me, bro.
Old people shit.
Shocker number 1.
3:45 a.m.
Holy cats.
Peak stupidity.
Insane QAnon posse.
Droopy pillows.
All right, let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Sean. Or Corbs.
Yeah.
That'll throw him off.
It will.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I had some good things happen Halloween night. Maybe we all have Halloween night stories. Nothing major, but I manned the porch and sat there as kids came up. We got more trick-or-treaters than we ever have this year. We got down to 2. All of our full-size candy bars were gone, and we got 2 other bags of candy, and we got down to our last 2 Twix. So it was impressive. Best showing ever. I sat there, handed out candy while, my wife took our daughter to a good neighborhood to trick-or-treat in so that she filled up her pillowcase once. Then she came back, and I took her around our neighborhood. And there's not a whole lot of houses that are doing anything at all, but I'm walking around. I've got leather trench coat, bandana, lightsaber all lit up, walking around. I'm doing it for safety because cars can see us. Also, I never get to bring my lightsaber out, and when anyone asks, I just say I'm a biker Jedi, but really it was just throwing shit together. So we're walking down the street and we're going up to one house, and this guy comes running up from down the street, and he's got a big bowl of candy. Get down, cat. And he's like, hey, listen, I've got no trick-or-treaters. I bought 600 pieces of candy and haven't had a single trick-or-treater. Here, take it. And dumps the entire bowl into her bag. Okay. Shock number 1. Shock number 2, we get a little further down the road, and there's several people having like fire pit fires right at the road. I've never seen that in our area before. And, so that was interesting. And the last thing was we're heading back to our house, and there's a group of kids way up the street, but they see us. Now, I know that they were completely wrong because I look nothing like it, but one of the kids keeps yelling, it's the Mandalorian, and down the street at me because I have a lightsaber. It's the Mandalorian. What? No, look, it's the Mandalorian. I'm not going to correct him or anything, and they cross the street. I didn't have to talk to the little fuckers, but I just thought that was really funny. But I mean, yeah, it was a good Halloween all around. I have no complaints. Other than I'm still sick and swinging back in the wrong direction again. So
That's no
fun. Got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning. We'll see.
Well, that's good. What color is your lightsaber, Hugh?
It's green.
That's why.
Actually, you can't see me back here.
That's the connection to the Mandalorian.
Because of Luke?
Because of Luke.
Kind of. Yeah, it doesn't show up. That's not worth it.
Right there, it looks kind of like you have a white lightsaber.
Oh, I didn't know you had long hair.
Get down. Holy cats. Jesus. They're all over the place. I've got one directly in front of me who won't go away.
So what you're saying is you're surrounded by pussy?
Pretty much, yeah. I actually had to kick another one of them out. I deliberately didn't fill the food dish in here tonight because I thought that would keep them out, but they still want to be in here.
Not
Must
so
be
much.
me.
Huh? Yes. Maybe you've got some catnip growing in that beard.
Who knows? I do find shit in there sometimes.
No, stop.
Dude, I bet you've got a couple things in your mustache you're not aware they're there.
I'm very well groomed. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Comb that shit all the time.
Corbs, what's got you geeked, man?
Glorious.
I got a couple of things. Got me geeked. Well, I got one thing that's got me geeked. One thing that's got me, well, had me pissed for a while. But
Uh-oh.
no, so what's got me geeked is Sunday. This coming Sunday, Yellowstone comes back.
Yes.
Sunday, 2 hour season. 2 hour season premieres on Sunday. So I'll be glued to the TV. Don't bother texting, calling. I'm putting my phone in the drawer and not getting it out until after it's over with.
I'm glad you said that because I was actually thinking about texting you for the very first time this Sunday.
We should have a watch party.
Yeah. I'm sure there's around. I mean, I can't wait for it to start. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happened from the end of last year to this year. I mean, it's going to be crazy. So that's what's got me geeked. Another thing that's got me geeked is last weekend I got to play golf up at the Turning Stone again.
Nice. So
I've played two out of the three courses up there so far in the past 2 years. I played Shenandoah last year and played Calahoot this last weekend with my buddy. Just the two of us went up there and played. So that was pretty nice. That was a real nice time. It's a gorgeous course. It's the second hardest course in the state. So, and I shot pretty well. I mean, my buddy Justin shot an 80, which is 80 over par for that course. It's pretty phenomenal. And I shot a 94, which isn't too bad for me. So it was nice, but it was nice to get on that course and play. So, but the other thing that's kind of got me a little irritated is for the past 2 weeks, I've been having some pain in my neck. And I can't figure out what's been going on. It's radiated from the top of my neck all the way down to my shoulder. And I haven't been sleeping all that great because it's uncomfortable to sleep. I get up, I got a migraine headache, and I thought it was because I was bowling with my son. We've been going bowling every weekend because like I told you guys, he decided he wanted to join the bowling team. So I've been showing him a few things at the bowling alley on the weekends. So I thought maybe it was because I hadn't done it in a while. And I thought maybe I'd tweak something or whatever. But come to find out last night at 3:45, it's my pillows that have been, they're old pillows and whatnot. So I actually had to roll a pillow up and I put it under my neck at 3:45 last night. And I finally got a good couple hours of sleep when I woke up this morning at 5:30 to go to work in my bedroom and didn't have a headache for the first time in 2 weeks. So tonight.
Time for new pillows.
Yeah, it's time for new pillows. It's probably time for a new mattress too. The mattress is older than my son, so.
Are they too firm? Not firm enough?
The pillows are probably older than my son.
So they have no loft to them?
Yeah, there's just nothing to them. So
they're just sad, droopy pillows.
Yeah, they are. But you get to pillows that you like, and they get comfortable and whatnot and whatnot. Yeah. So, but, I mean, I figured it out last night, so I'll see tonight if it does anything different. I wake up tomorrow without a headache, and that'd be nice for the first. Like I said, first time in 2 weeks I haven't had to take any ibuprofen at all during the day. I was living on ibuprofen for about the past 2 weeks, at least 4 in the morning to get me through the day. So it's nice not to have to take those. So
that stuff's really not good for you.
No. It's not, and it's even worse from what my brother was telling me. It's even worse when you have diabetes. You're supposed to take aspirin, but aspirin won't touch the headaches that I've got. So
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either until my brother told me, and I was like, well, I bought Tylenol. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I bought Tylenol and I was taking it. It wasn't touching the headache at all. So I switched back to the ibuprofen. But like I said, I was taking 4, sometimes even 8 in a day just to get through the day. I was worried. I thought maybe I had a pinched nerve or something like that. But to be honest with you, when I figured that out this morning, and I haven't had any problems all day. So I'm hoping I figured it out, and maybe just have to go out and spend the $10 or $12 on new pillows.
That is very optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they're a little more expensive than that.
Yeah, they are.
Why don't you do yourself a favor and look into some of those orthopedic pillows? There's some stuff out there now, just for us old fuckers that, it's just designed so that you can sleep just right. And, Doesn't screw your shoulder up, doesn't screw your neck up, doesn't screw your back up.
Yeah.
Might be worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at a few things and see if I can find. I used to have one of those pillows that had the little roll in it that you could have, and that worked for a while. But then after a while, it started to hurt my neck a little more than it was helping. And I used to sleep on my arms a lot, like under my pillow and whatnot, and stuff like that. But I've gotten away from that, so I probably figured I can go back to maybe sleeping on one of those pillows again and not have to worry about sleeping with my arm under my head or whatever. So we'll see. It's just nice to not have to be in pain for the entire day, or dull pain when I take the ibuprofen and whatnot. So,
that reminded me of talking about old people stuff. Hey, Kevin, do you mind if I throw a story in here before you talked about geeked? It'll make you laugh. Trust me.
No, that's fine. I thought maybe it was going to be about me. I was like,
oh,
here
no,
we go.
That's where I thought it was going too.
So the other day, I'm sitting on the floor in the living room. I sat down in front of our little fireplace because we've got I talked about that a while back. I know it's a bad idea because I have trouble getting off the floor. So here's the thing. Both my knees are kind of fucked, but my right one's way more fucked than the left one. The right one's the one I hurt at Split Rock, if you recall, Paul. Now, you get used to doing something one way your entire life. I don't know if it has to do with right or left-handed or what, but when I stand up from being on the ground, my right knee goes on the ground and I push myself up with my left leg. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I always do. I can no longer put my right knee on the ground. I mean, even just touching it against a hard surface, it's like fire. It's awful, awful pain. And every time I get up, I'm like, my wife's like, why don't you try to use your other leg or your other knee? I'm like, I don't know. I never thought of that before. So I'm in the living room and I'm trying to figure out how to put my left knee on the floor. Now, let me tell you something. For being a relatively smart guy, this really confuggled me because I'm like, why can I not figure out how to do this? This is stupid. But it took me some time and I managed to get my left knee on the ground. No pain, no problem. So I'm like, all right, I'll push myself up with my right leg. Now, you may know, I think I might have mentioned this to you, Paul, but my right ankle and foot also give me issues. I've got maybe some tendon thing. It goes from the middle of my ankle down into my foot. Hurts every day. It sucks. But whatever, I deal with it. So I'm like, already, I'm going to push myself up. I go to push myself up about maybe a quarter of the way of putting all of my force into it. I realize that my ankle can't support my weight anymore. And I dive face and shoulder first into the floor.
Crash and burn. Just
my back, I'm like, what the fuck happened? And my wife just shakes her head and looks at me. So I've got a little hip pain, some old man hip pain from that going on. It's finally getting better as of yesterday. But yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? That was totally unexpected. Because, us guys, we power through shit, right? My ankle hurts every single day. I power through it. I figured you figure you can power through anything until you get to that one experience where shit just doesn't work.
Put you on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucked. But yeah, that's my old man story.
Man, I wish I didn't relate to that.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I remember when I tweaked my back a few years back and they tell you, get down on a hard surface, stretch it out. Lay on the floor, stretch it out. Yeah, I went to do that and then I couldn't get up. I was like a fucking turtle on the fucking ground, just like yeah. So I know what you're saying, man. Yeah.
Any of you guys ever tried one of those inversion things where you go upside down and hang?
My dad had one of those little things you strap your feet in and it. Yeah, my dad used to have one of those. I tried that, just goofing around in it, whatever. He had it because my dad broke his back. I think I might have mentioned it to you guys on the police force. So he tried everything to get some relief for his back pain and whatnot. And so he had one of those. He had, one of those things. He's done it all. So
did it do any good? Did it help it? No.
I looked into one once for a guy of my size, but they told me there was no way to get the forklift into my living room.
So I've got this book, Heal Your Own Back. I got it a while back from I was going to what the hell they're called, the bone people there.
Chiropractor.
No, the ones
orthopedic.
They fix you up and then they give you all the physical therapy.
SOS.
SOS. I was going there and they suggested getting it. So I got it. And, there's a lot of really neat stuff in there about how, and there's a video that goes along with it too, the guy that made it, about how you can stretch your back and you can, put it back into the right shape and whatever. And those inversion tables put you into a position that's talked about in that book, but they don't talk about inversion tables. I didn't know if there was anything to it.
There's someone at our job that you could talk to about one of those. I'll tell you about it off, Mike.
Okay.
I just think I'd say I'm Batman the entire time.
Yeah, because didn't they do that in the Michael Keaton Batman? Yes. Yeah.
He hung upside down. That was different, though. That was an inversion rack.
Yeah, there was no actual plank to it. That was
you put the cuffs around your ankles and you hang upside down. That's different. That doesn't give you any structure.
Right.
That just, all that would do is that would stretch your back out. It would stretch you out, going the other way. But I don't know that that's really the safe way to do it. But anyway.
Right.
He's Batman.
Yeah, I'm Batman. I'm Batkev.
Batkev. I guarantee I see what he changes his name to next time. But Kev, since we're on the topic, what's got you geeked, man?
3 words. Winter is coming.
I thought that show ended.
Fuck that show. I'm talking about me, bro. Riding sleds. It's coming. Watching all the webcams all day, my buddies sending pictures back and forth, and they're all like, "Oh, it's coming, it's snow." So my sled's ready. I'm ready to go. Just
I can attest that winter is coming, and it rolls into what's got me geeked. I don't want to step on yours though. So
that's it. That's good. I mean, we had a good Halloween. I mean, that was that, but I mean, winter's definitely coming, so I'm happy.
Yes. So what's got me geeked is something we did today. We began our journey with the Lemoyne women's soccer team. Madison is a member of a program called Team Impact, where they match up special needs kids with a sports program or something like that. And Lemoyne's women soccer team was all about it. They were super excited to have us join up. They go so far as to do a full contract signing experience with her, which they have to coordinate schedules, because I think they do this like a legit athlete signing. But so far we've hung out with them. We hung out with them for a little while on Tuesday. Was a meet and greet. They did crafts and cider and donuts and all that stuff. Met all the girls. The coaching staff, hung out in the athletic compound at Lemoyne. And then we accompanied them in their final game of the season today. And I say accompany because we're hanging back just carrying all the shit. But Madison and Kylie both got to accompany the girls down to the field, walked them to the field. And then they each chose a favorite player and actually ran onto the field with them and were announced over the PA at the beginning of the game.
Wow.
It was really cool. This is going to be a long-term thing. We have lots of plans in place for what's going to happen. We, as in the coach, the team, and basically Kristen, because she's coordinating all of it with them. I can't say enough good things about this team. These girls are so nice. They're really good athletes. We got to watch the game after all the stuff that we did. They did warm-ups with them. There's videos and pictures on it. I'm going to leave a link to the Facebook page that all this is on. It's called Maddie Mudd's channel. It's all Madison stuff. Before this, it was medical progression, stuff like that. All the little cool stuff that we've done. Kristen manages it. She does a great job with the page. There's a really cool video of Madison tagging along with her buddy, the player she picked. Her name's Allie. She's a senior, so she'll be leaving us at the end of this school year. So that's going to be rough on Madison, but Madison's running right along with her, doing all the same stuff on warm-ups and everything. The video's great. If you guys get a chance to check it out, please go check it out. Like I said, the link's going to be right to that. It's all the newest stuff on there from today. And it's a really cool experience. I can't, like I said, say enough nice things about these kids, because I mean, when we were college age kids, did you want to spend any time with like 11-year-olds and shit like that? No. Like, you guys wanted to be either taking care of your classes, athletics for these guys, and then I mean, it's all social hour. And they were awesome. They all sat down, like I said, on Tuesday and did all of these crafts and just had a blast, and they were super interactive with them. The team leadership, the 5 captains of the team, all recorded videos like the day we found out about this and sent them to Madison, introducing themselves. I'm trying to think of all the other stuff that's gone since then. They gave us a huge care package with all sorts of Lemoyne Dolphins gear. The girls wore their winter hats today because it got cold and nasty. We got there, the sun was out, and by the time we got onto the field, it was raining and then hailing on us. So yeah, it was.
Was it right there at the college today?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, then I experienced the same weather you did.
That's true, because you're down the hill from it. Yeah.
But, hey, if there's information on that program, I might be interested, because I have a special needs daughter who plays soccer. So
nice. I will get all the information from Kristen and send it your way for the thing. And you're not guaranteed a soccer team. It's just whoever's looking at that point is what it comes down to. But great program. Like I said, it's called Team Impact. That's the program. And then Lemoyne itself, they're great. They're really, really great. And I'm really excited to see where this goes with us in the future. Really cool stuff. So for once, it's not something extremely selfish for myself that I'm excited about here. So
that sounds really cool.
It was very, very cool. But moving on, is anybody playing any video games right now?
I did pick up something I haven't touched in a really long time. Now that I have a phone that can actually load a game in under 5 minutes, I looked through all the games that I've played over the years and grabbed one that always struggled. Hitman Sniper. I don't know if you've ever played this game before. It's based on the Hitman series, and there's 2 maps, but the other one's just like a endless thing map. It doesn't really count. There's the main map, and basically you're in a sniper spot, and you can see this entire complex. And each mission challenges you with different things, different kinds of kills, different objectives. It's really good graphically. It's amazing. And I stopped playing it because, it just didn't run well on my phone. If you haven't tried it out, give it a shot. It's a free game. I believe it's free. A lot of fun.
Good. Nice.
Neat. I like the movie.
Never saw it.
Which one? There's 2 of them.
Oh, are there 2? Was it already fun in both of them?
Was it the
Hitman and the Hitman 47?
Okay.
Hitman had Timothy Oliphant, and the other one had an actor. I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, I didn't know they made a second.
Yeah, it was made like 10 years later.
Timothy Oliphant one is the one I remember.
Yeah.
The original. The one they actually had a theatrical release. Yeah.
Correct. Actually, the other one did too. The other one I think did a little better than the original release.
Wow.
I've seen them both. I like the Timothy Oliphant one better. So
he went out and did some really cool stuff too. So it's kind of fun. We saw the movie years ago, and then saw him, do some other things, and then we saw the movie again. We're like, oh, that's where we saw him from.
Yeah.
Just like Natalie Portman. I mean, you saw the Professional.
Yeah.
You saw that, and you're like, oh, that was a great movie. Great movie for what it was. And then you see this, attractive young woman doing all this great stuff, and you're like, oh, wow, she's great. And you realize, I saw her when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat stuff when they do stuff like that.
So I've been playing a little Valhalla still, so
nice.
Not too much, just a little bit here and there. So, but again, I haven't really been doing much, only because I can't look at my TV because of my neck. Right. So
stupid TVs.
Hopefully this weekend, I'm working this weekend. Our day of services this weekend for work, so we have to be on. We have to go into the office to support the systems for all of our sites that are open. I think 95% of our sites are open. Anybody in the service, retired, active, can come in and get any dental work they need.
Nice.
So,
Very cool.
That's a good thing that that Aspen does. So I'll be at the office from 8 to 2 on Saturday. So, and I worked last Saturday too, but that was my own choice. So yeah, I haven't really been playing too much. So.
No, I'm not playing anything, but I have an update on a game that I had mentioned before, and that's Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not a good update, unfortunately. News broke today that it's being pushed back until the second half of 2022 to polish up the game and actually add more to the storyline and the full experience. So, not that I want to wait any longer, but hopefully it's for a good reason. So, All right. Now, Kevin, are you playing anything, or are we ready to move on?
Oh, I'm just, screwing with the same stuff. Stupid settlers, and right in the middle of a Halloween event, so I can't give it up yet.
Gotcha. You're not going to give it up.
There's always going to be a reason to not give it up. I mean,
right now you come in Thanksgiving, there'll be some
right. Then it's the turkey
Thanksgiving
event
or whatever, then Christmas, and then Valentine's Day and Easter and St. Patrick's Day. There'll always be something. There's always a way to keep you
all the
hooked.
games do. They all get you that way. Yes.
Shoot me. Anyway.
Shoot me.
All right. Well, then it sounds to me like it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
So this week I have another game that has been reviewed on Board Game Geek, and that has been reviewed by another individual that I've been kind of following a little bit. And it has a lot to do with some of the stuff we talked about in recent weeks. This is the latest version of Dune. It is Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy. Now, this game is loosely based on the original Dune board game that came out in the 70s. I didn't know about that game until I saw the video review done on this game. And that game, that original game, it had a lot of the same features, a lot of the same mechanics that this new one does. But there was also this essence of diplomacy that went along with it. So two people would have to kind of figure out some sort of a trade or bargain between them in order to continue the game. And a lot of that gameplay is what made up that first game. It also kind of made it a little bit more difficult to play for some folks, but more interesting for others. Some of the reviews are very interesting on that first game. And the Esoteric Order of Gamers. I keep looking at my other monitors because I have to have all this stuff up here, just so you know. The Esoteric Order of Gamers, the guy that runs that is the one that did the video review on this, did a fantastic video review. And according to him, this is a 2-player game, very easily a 2-player game, up to 4. And that's exactly what it's exactly what Board Game Geek says, 2 to 4 players. Very, very interesting game, very, very cool looking board and pieces. And let me read you a little bit about what it says. Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy, builds on 40 years of development. Let me bring this down so actually I can read it a little bit better. There we go. Builds on 40 years of development, refinement, and evolution from the original classic game. It has the same beloved DNA, flavor, tension, and themes, but with new game board design, more spice, new streamlined rules, and a new market deck from which you can purchase game advantages. Also, the brand new 2-player mode really opens up new gaming opportunities, all making the game more accessible for even the most casual gamer. In Dune, you take control of one of the 4 major factions: House Atreides, House Harkonnen, the Fremen, or Fremen, I guess it's actually called, and the Imperium. All vying to control the most valuable resource in the universe, melange, the mysterious spice only found at great cost on the planet Dune. Ship your forces to Dune, harvest spice, seize control of strongholds, and destroy your enemies. Who will control Dune? You decide. Really fantastic gameplay, and it really follows the movie. And as I understand it, I still haven't read the book, but as I understand it, it really follows the ideas that the book presented originally. So if you have a background of having read the book, if you've ever played the original game, if you've watched this most recent movie, or even if you've watched the other movie that was made previous to this, I think you could pick this game right up and understand it, and at least understand the background of it and be able to jump right into the gameplay. Gameplay looks like it is so much fun. This game probably can take as little as 20 minutes and as much as 60 minutes. So the game can be over pretty quick. You can't win or lose the game before round 3. And I believe there's 6 or 8 rounds. And on the game board, you actually have a game piece that you move a marker to show which round it is. And very, very, very interesting. The images are very, very accurate according to the video I saw. So if you look at the images and you look at some of the pictures that were posted on Board Game Geek, you'll see exactly what the gameplay looks like. Very interesting. There's this one aspect of the game where you battle your opponent, and you have this card that you set up. You move an inner piece to show how many warriors or whatever you want to call them.
Let's call them Jason Momoas.
Yes, however many Jason Momoas you want to take with you. And then you have your hero. So you add your hero, and your hero modifies the gameplay. And then you can have your leader card. The really interesting part about this is if your leader card is the same as your enemies, and yours is then the traitor, and you automatically win. It's really neat. There's so many really cool aspects to this game. Like I said, if you go on BoardGameGeek.com, look up the game, and then look for the video reviews, and look up the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Look up his review. That review, I think, really shows a very good depiction of how the game is played, and he talks through it, and it makes me feel like I could just jump into a game and immediately start playing. So what's the difficulty level? Let me get back to that. Oh, difficulty level. It actually got an 8.0 out of 10 for a rating on BoardGameGeek.com, and it got a 2.67 out of 5 for a complexity rating. Again, 2 to 4 players, 20 to 60 minute playtime, ages 12 and up. And pricing, what did I see? I saw a low of $43. This is for the 2021 version. On Geek Market, so it looks like that might be a used version, up to $87. Oh, that's Australian, so $60 US. So it looks like a probably $60 retail game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, very, very cool, and not from the same producers that made Imperium, the last Dune game that I reviewed. So, and this one, even the box and a lot of the leader cards are the characters. It's the imagery, it's the fonts, it's the actors that were just in this latest movie.
Nice.
So yeah. So I guess what's happened between the original game and now is that the IP, the people that own the intellectual property for this franchise, they've decided they were not releasing any of it to anyone for any reason until now, and they've opened it up, and now there's several different brand new Dune games based on the movie, but the book actually based on the book. So that's my review for this week. I think I'm definitely getting this one.
Nice.
Along with all the other ones I want to get.
That mean you'll be stopping at the mall again soon?
Yeah, I would definitely go and check it out, see if it was there. I'd like to see this in person.
Awesome. Very cool. So before we go to break, guys, how about we do a quick WTF file?
Sure.
Oh, wow.
All right. So let me just share my screen here and make sure I have it on the correct screen. That would be also helpful.
Wouldn't want to share the wrong picture.
If you want, I know somebody can help you out with your technology.
All right. Okay. So this is my WTF file. This happened the other day, and I just had to share it with you guys. So and my job consists of me helping out other users and stuff. And I got an email in from a user who was little concerned about an attachment she got. Let me show you that email. As soon as it behaves itself.
Maybe it's trying to say that showing an email you got at work on a public podcast is a bad idea.
Oh no, I fixed it up. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that stupid. So you see the email here. It says that see attachment, an email in my inbox today from our good friend Marge C. Simpson. Which she also tells us that she has no intention of opening this email. Okay. So I went ahead and I clicked on the attachment she had for us, which was a snip from the actual attachment. And this is the attachment that she sent me. It was clearly from an AT&T text message. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm noticing that for you. And so she's very concerned about it, didn't want to open this at all. So I did some searching online. I did a reverse lookup on the number, and this is what I find out, that that is from Marge C. Simpson herself. She had texted her email address and didn't remember doing it.
Nice. What did she say when you told her?
She says, "Oh, would you look at that? I didn't even look that close." I wish I could make this stuff up, guys. But
speaking of wishing you could make stuff up, we'll get to that though.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we throw it to commercial, and it sounds like Hugh's got something special for us in the news segment there. Stick with us, guys. We'll be right back. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you gather in public because you believe a dead president's son will appear to reinstate Trump as president, here's the news. Oh, wait, that actually happened. First up, insane QAnon posse. Several hundred QAnon followers gathered at Dealey Plaza in Texas, Dallas, Texas, Tuesday afternoon. They believed JFK Jr. would appear before midnight and reinstate Donald Trump as president. It's like the guy that runs QAnon is in his chat room and his buddies are like, Harold, that's enough. You proved your point. And he's like, no, wait, I got another one. This is going to be great. It's the big lie meets, it's the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Several attendees said they'd already seen Dale Earnhardt and Robin Williams there. When he didn't show, some said he would appear at the Rolling Stone concert later in the evening, and then some stated that they believe Keith Richards is really JFK. For real, I don't even have to write jokes here. When I think we've hit peak stupidity, it's like, but wait, there's more. This is like the final season of Viva La Bam Bad, when our charming rapscallion with a penchant for mischief's getting into increasingly contrived mischief. Like, let's blow up Don Vito's truck, but with Cheese Whiz and the 1973 Radio City Rockettes. I swear this is the equivalent of building a Rube Goldberg machine to scratch your balls. Sure, it's possible, but by the time you're done, the itch is gone and you've inspired a legion of YouTubers to accidentally rip off their nuts with a lawnmower engine attached to a back scratcher. Some ideas don't have to live in the real world.
That one does.
Next up. Netflix has released Netflix Gaming to its Android users. It allows you to play free games within the Netflix app because this was desperately needed. Launching with only 5 games, none of them a Squid Game game, I've left to ask, what's the point? They could not have missed a bigger opportunity if they went to Thailand and didn't buy a hooker. And finally, all the puns were used up. UK cereal maker Serial Killer is releasing a breakfast cereal based on the upcoming Scream sequel called Strawberries and Scream. That's the name of the cereal, not the movie. See, they left no room for my bad jokes. Made of crispy mallow cereal clusters, it also purports to be the world's first talking cereal box. That wasn't the cereal box. I have no idea what the hell that was. If you really need a ghost face saying, what's your favorite scary breakfast, while eating artificially flavored diabetes clusters, there you go. Check that off your bucket list. Your life is complete. The rest of us are striving for something more. And that's the news, kids. Now, I'm going to relax and watch Corb say, how do you follow that? No big plans this week for the 7 seconds between the news and the movie review. Between taking down the obscene amount of Halloween decorations we have and still dying of not COVID, I don't have the energy. Paul?
In other news, there are only 14 blimps in the world. Back to you, Corbs.
14?
I dated 3 of them.
Had to be a fat joke in there somewhere.
Done.
Wow.
Be a professional, Paul. Okay.
All right, so after that, the movie we're gonna do today is the classic comedy Airplane. All right, from 1980. So after Elaine Dickinson dumps her longtime boyfriend, Ted Stryker, she heads off to work for Trans-American Airlines, where she is a stewardess. In a desperate attempt to win her back, he buys a ticket on her flight and boards the plane. However, poor Ted has a deep fear of flying after he led a squadron of planes in the war that resulted in many fine men dying and Ted surviving. Unfortunately, when the entire crew and the majority of the passengers become seriously ill due to bad fish, Ted finds himself the only healthy person on board capable of flying that plane. Now it is up to him to land that bird safely in Chicago before the poison kills people. He might even salvage his relationship with Elaine along the way. That's all I got. It was on today. I was watching it, so
Nice.
Neat.
Some classic lines in that movie.
oh, definitely.
Yeah. And it spawned a couple of sequels, didn't it? Or just one sequel?
Just one.
Okay.
That was on after it too. So
was it? Was on Encore? Say
it was.
It's kind of funny when I do my review check, it tells me where it's playing and when. Yeah.
I like the movie. I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's outdated obviously now, but it's still funny. It's still got some good lines. Still some funny lines in there. You know, obviously some lines that just don't translate well to this time.
Oh, come on.
Like the old lady that can talk jive.
Yes. Yeah. There's that, you know. I mean, Leslie Nielsen's in it, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's in it, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, out of 5 stars, I'll probably give it, 2.5 or so.
Nice.
So, it's not the best movie out there. The sequel is, even worse, but it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, a cinematic genius movie where Oscars were won. It's supposed to be, that's goofball 80s comedy, slapstick humor type stuff and whatnot. Ted throwing the drink on himself every time he tries to drink something is, they don't call me Shirley.
Yes.
So I like it. I like it. It's not one of those movies that I have to watch when it's on. So, but I watched it today because there was nothing else on.
I'm just watching Hugh reach into the GeekPod logo.
Oh, yeah. There's a cat in the GeekPod logo.
Okay.
All right. Well, our good friend Roger Ebert, he gave Airplane.
He loved it, didn't he?
He gave it 3 stars.
Wow. He did love it.
Yeah. And he says, Airplane is a comedy in the great tradition of high school skits, the Sid Caesar TV show, Mad Magazine, and the dog-eared screenplays people's nephews write in lieu of earning their college diplomas. It is sophomoric, obvious, predictable, corny, and quite often very funny. And the reason it's funny is frequently because it's sophomoric, predictable, corny, etc. For example, Airplane Captain Peter, played by Peter Graves. Surely you can't be serious. Doctor, played by Leslie Nielsen. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. This sort of humor went out with Milton Berle, Jerry Lewis, and Knock Knock jokes.
Oh, it didn't.
That's why it's so funny. Movie comedies these days are so hung up on being contemporary, radical, outspoken, and cynically satirical that they sometimes forget to be funny. And they've lost the nerve to be as corny as Airplane, to actually invite loud groans from the audience. The flop Holy Moses, for example, I've never even heard of that movie, is no doubt an infinitely more intelligent comedy. But the problem was, we didn't laugh. Airplane has a couple of sources for its inspiration. One of them is obviously Airport from 1970, and all of its sequels and ripoffs. The other might not come immediately to mind unless you're a fan of The Late Show. It's 0 Hour from 1957. Which starred the quintessential 1950s B-movie cast of Dana Andrews, Linda Darnell, and Sterling Hayden. Airplane comes from the same studio, Paramount, and therefore is able to cheerfully borrow the same plot. Airliner is imperiled after the crew and most of the passengers are stricken with food poisoning. The 0 Hour crisis situation, how to get the plane down, was also borrowed for the terrible Airport in 1975, in which Karen Black played a stewardess who tried to follow instructions radioed from the ground. Airplane has 2 desperate people in the cockpit. Julie Haggerty is a stewardess, and Robert Hayes is a former Air Force pilot whose traumatic war experiences have made him terrified of flying. The cockpit also contains a very kinky automatic pilot, but never mind. The movie exploits the previous films for all they're worth. The passenger list includes a little old lady like Helen Hayes in Airport, a guitar-playing nun like Helen Reddy in Airport 75, and even a critically ill little girl who's being flown to an emergency operation. Linda Blair played the role in Airport 1975. Predictable results occur as when the nun's guitar knocks loose the little girl's intravenous tubes and she nearly dies while all the passengers sing along inspirationally. I forgot about that. The movie's funniest scene, however, occurs in a flashback explaining how the stewardess and the Air Force pilot first met. Excuse me. and fell in love. Yes, it is boring me. And fell in love years ago. The scene takes place in an exotic Casablanca-style bar, which is miraculously transformed when somebody's hurled at the jukebox and it starts playing Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. The scene becomes a hilarious send-up of the disco scenes in Saturday Night Fever, with the young pilot defying gravity to impress the girl. Airplane is practically a satirical anthology of classic movie cliches. Lloyd Bridges, as the ground control officer, seems to be satirizing himself half of his straight roles. The opening titles get an enormous laugh with an unexpected reference to Jaws. The neurotic young pilot is talked back into the cockpit in a scene from Newt Rockney, All-American, and the romantic scenes are played as a soap opera. None of this really adds up to great comedic artistry, but Airplane compensates for its lack of original comic invention by its utter willingness to steal, beg, borrow, and rewrite from anywhere. So yeah, I think you liked it.
Sounds like it.
Makes me want to watch it again. I might have to hunt it down. No.
Oh yeah.
So
just for the quotes alone.
Right.
Yeah.
I was reading through the quotes on IMDb. I'm just like, oh my God, I remember this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like it. I mean, it's funny parts when the girl starts freaking out and they're lining up to slap her. And
yes.
I was thinking about the movie review segment, and it occurred to me, there's going to come a point where, Corbs, you run out of classic movies to review.
But by then, won't more modern movies have become classic movies, just like
I
our
don't
music?
know. I mean, on our current schedule, generally recording every week, it's possible we might get through them. I wanted to throw an idea out there. I had an idea. I wanted to suggest to you that once you've done all the classic movies you want to, no rush on this. Maybe since you said you're not a horror guy, you should start delving into classic horror movies. To A, maybe you'll find that you kind of like them, but B, I think that your take on them, being somebody that doesn't like horror movies, might be really fucking funny. Just a thought.
I know my girlfriend would like that. She's a horror fan, so.
Ooh, maybe you can even involve her and have her pick the movie for you.
Does she like the really old stuff, or?
She just likes. She's more like me. She just likes movies in general, but she does like horror movies. She keeps trying to get me to go to movies to see horror movies, and I keep telling her nope.
Nope.
She keeps saying nope. Same thing with country concerts, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not going to suggest that.
Country music reviews.
I will quit the podcast if we start doing that.
No offense. So will I.
Right.
So,
Shit, we might have to bring Jack back. Look at that.
Yeah,
you tried.
You can't even get a hold of him, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, she wanted me to go to the Florida Georgia Line concert in October, and I told her she bought tickets, and I was like, I don't really want to go.
Didn't they get canceled? So you got lucky.
Canceled, so I got lucky.
It was like an act of God or something.
It was. I was so happy. So she's gonna force me to go to a country concert, and I'm gonna have to go.
At some point, it's gonna happen.
I can't avoid it. And she's gonna listen to this. She's gonna know, but she already knows.
Right.
So I don't like country music. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Never liked country music. There's some country music that's good. Like old country's good. Garth is good. Reba, stuff like that. George Strait. Stuff now is not really country-ish, I guess is the correct term. It's more poppy.
I don't know. I really don't listen to regular radio anymore at all.
No.
Dude, I feel like you should change your name to Nacho Grande. The color on that shirt is just perfect.
You do know what Macho Grande is, right?
No. I mean, big man, right?
No.
Okay, no, I don't know what Macho Grande is.
Think about it.
Okay, thought about it. Still don't know what it is.
It's the battle where Ted lost his pilots.
Oh, see, I wouldn't have known that.
I thought Kev might know it. You've seen the. And so, Paul, I mean, you've seen the movie, but they talk about, losing all of his the squadron over Macho Grande.
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Oh,
They do talk about it a little more in the second one, in the sequel. Like they have the courtroom where they're talking about it and stuff like that. It kind of plays along with the first one when they're in the cockpit and they're talking about, you know, Roger, over, done. There's the guys' names in there. They kind of play off that in the courtroom scene too. So that's kind of where that comes into play. They talk about it a little bit more in there, but they do mention it in the first one. That's where he lost all of his squadron. So you guys didn't notice that his name was, I had Ted Stryker as the first.
I did notice, but we couldn't reference it because we
I know.
into that yet.
I know.
And I assumed that it was some sports ball player. So.
All right.
Speaking of the sports stuff, I mean, you know, the Braves won the World Series, so congrats.
It's over?
It is.
That happened?
Last night. Yeah, the World Series ended last night.
I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, they won 7-0 last night, won 4-2, so won in 6 games. So happy for the Braves. I mean, they won, last one they won was 95. That's back when I just had gotten out of high school. So, you know, my dad is not a Braves fan. He's a Pirates fan, and he, to this day, hates the Braves. He was just going to get ahead and leave.
Right, he's done.
Sports, I'm out.
I'm just trying to figure out if this is the bat ball or the hoop ball, but I don't really care. You don't have to tell me.
So, I mean, my dad, I don't know if I've
There's another one.
I don't know if I mentioned this story at all. So when I was in high school in 92, the Pirates were really good at that time. They were winning the East or the Central, wherever they were. I can't remember where they were at that time. But they'd won the conference, the division like 3 years in a row. So 92, they were playing the Braves, and the series was tied 3-3. Pirates were winning in the bottom of the 9th. So my dad had called me early on in the game, or actually it was before the game even started. He said, if the Pirates win, I'm going to be on the phone getting tickets to the World Series. Do you want to go? And I was like, there's a bear shit in the woods? Wow. Of course I want to go. Because we had been, the year before, I went to a playoff game down there with my father and my grandfather. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to go. If you get tickets, tell me in. I'm going. I'll take off school. I don't care. Whatever we need to do. So he literally, bottom of the 9th, he dialed the number and hit send and then hung up. So that all he did was hit redial. And he had his finger on the redial button. And Francisco Cordova, who used to play here at Syracuse in the 90s, was with the Braves at the time and got a base hit. And the guy that used to play for the Pirates, Sid Bream, who is slower than molasses, scored the winning run from second base. And my dad literally was like, I fucking hate Sid Bream. So I was talking to him 3 days ago when the last game was on, not this game, the one before it. And we were talking about it. And he goes, I want the Braves to win, but I can't root for the Braves. So we're talking 20-something years later, and he still can't root for the Braves to win because it was the only chance we've had to go to the series.
Right.
So, and you haven't had a chance to go back because since then the Pirates have been dog shit. So that was our chance, and fucking Sid Bream blew it. You guys don't even know who Sid Bream is, but that's right.
Not even a little bit.
I thought it was an oven cleaner. Sorry, I was petting the cat.
So, but yeah, I wanted to just say, you know, congratulations. We don't talk much sports on here anymore, so. But I wanted to throw that out there because it's a big deal for Atlanta, especially after they were supposed to have the All-Star game this year, and they pulled the All-Star game from there and moved it to a different location because of something going on. I can't remember what it was, but something with like the mayor or something like that. So they pulled the All-Star game from there. So for them to actually win the World Series, it's pretty cool. So
nice.
That's all I got.
I'm sorry. Well, we're still in the realm of sports or sports entertainment. Did you guys see the news that broke about AEW superstar Jon Moxley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He is checking himself into an inpatient rehabilitation center. Apparently, he's struggling pretty heavy with an alcohol addiction. And this has got to disrupt a whole lot of shit that's probably happening right now. Yeah. He was involved in a huge storyline right now where he was part of this big tournament for the #1 contender spot for the world championship. And the rumblings were he was supposed to be going to the next pay-per-view as that match, like the #1 contenders match. It was supposed to have been him versus Bryan Danielson, or if you're a WWE fan, you know him as Daniel Bryan. That the list
Or
had slipped
if you're
out.
Jim Ross, is both.
Right, that's true. Also, if you're a WWE fan, Jon Moxley is formerly Dean Ambrose of The Shield. And also, oddly enough, Jon Moxley's autobiography just came out on Tuesday. So, run to the bookstore and pick that up as well. But yeah, this has to fuck things up a lot.
Yeah.
But apparently they're saying that the writing was on the wall like a few weeks back on the reality show. I don't know if you guys know there's a reality show about
something like
Roads to the top or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It follows around the backstage stuff. And a couple weeks back they showed
it follows around
Cody Rhodes
Cody and Brandy.
Yes.
But everybody interacts with them because obviously they are the owners of the part owner of the company or whatever. So they all fall around, and apparently from what I haven't seen it, from what I've seen is they all like the guys as you end up at their house or whatever.
Yes.
They hang
For whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a couple weeks ago on there, they did a thing with Brandy talking to Mox backstage, and she had asked him, I think, like, how you doing or whatever, and he said, well, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm really fucking hungover. And I would just I found that odd at that point.
Yeah.
And then now this comes up and I was like, oh shit. So I mean, it's sad, and it's good that he's getting help. Hopefully he can come back better than ever after this is all done. His wife tweeted out today in support of him, because a lot of people were on the different forums and stuff saying, oh, this is bullshit, it's storyline shit. It's perfect timing because his book just came out, so now it gives him a reason to go off on a signing tour, which he was supposed to do, which I'm assuming is now canceled. But I mean, for me, it was kind of out of left field. It's
got to be tough to do that when you're in the spotlight too.
Yeah. And I mean, it looks like he's getting nothing but support from AEW and the ownership back there. Yeah. So I wish him the best. I like him. I think he's a great performer.
Agreed.
But I wasn't so hot on him the last week or two, when he's kicking the fucking railings at the fans and shit. But yeah, this sucks, and hopefully he can get under control and come back. So that was all. I just wanted to make sure we got to touch upon it. So,
oh, stop, motherfucker!
You're touched.
Yeah, I was touched by nails.
He's trying to fight a cat over there.
Not the first time I fought a cat on a Geek Pod program, Paul, if you remember correctly.
Which time are you referencing?
Referencing the Geek Pod Blue episode where I was talking to the cat and then we got in a little scuffle.
Yes, I forgot about that one. That was great.
There was a lot of editing in that episode.
I'm sure there was. All right, why don't we send this to commercial and then we'll come back and wrap the show up.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, hang with us. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And we're back. And I'll bet you, since this is Geek Pod, y'all thought we were going to drop the ball like we always do and not circle back to the stuff we discussed last week about Halloween. So, Hugh, you already touched upon your Halloween experiences with us. Anybody else have any cool Halloween stories? Kev, you sent me a picture on Halloween night of how your night was going. Well, actually, I think it was the start, wasn't it? It was like when you were prepping.
Yeah, we had a few friends over, and I mean, just it's a good time as always. Not nearly as many kids as normal. I mean, our years past, we were 350 kids.
Wow.
But yeah, but not anymore. It's been 2019 was the last time we had something like that.
Jesus. Much like Hugh, we had a lot of kids this year. I don't know where they came in from because I didn't recognize any of them. They definitely weren't neighborhood kids, but we were just about out of candy. Like we've the last couple of years we've been doing small like pre-bagged goodie bags for them that we lay out on the table. And like you were talking about, Hugh, we're one of those that has the fire pit in the driveway. We kick back, we hang out. I've got music playing up there. I brought the outdoor speakers around from out back, and I've got a special Halloween playlist I play that's got the creepy sound effects plus Halloween themed songs sprinkled throughout it. And we chill. And normally, with being on the weekends, I usually imbibe quite a bit. This year, not so much. I only had a couple, but Kristen, on the other hand, my mother came over because it's a tradition. Both of my folks come over separately and hang out for Halloween. My mom will go along, on the walk with the kids or whatnot. Usually my dad's there to hand out the candy. But now that I'm hanging back, he doesn't have to do that anymore. Now he just chills. My mother brought 2 bottles of wine with her, which her and Kristen promptly attacked post-haste. And she was feeling really, really good as they were going out through the neighborhood and all that, to the point that she called me and asked me to come back out and pick her up. She was like 3 streets over because she had to pee. I find out after the fact that this was after she had told about 15 different people that she had to pee. And, yeah, she was having quite a time. I apparently she made like 5 new Facebook friends over the time. They had a blast. It was good for her that she actually got to unwind a little bit.
I think it was passive aggressive, like she was saying it to them, hoping one of them would be like, "Hey, just use our bathroom."
Yeah, that's exactly what she was hoping. And it didn't work out, and I understand why, because crazy drunk lady in your driveway screaming that she has to pee. I'm not letting you in my house in normal times, as well as we're in the middle of a pandemic. So, but they had a blast. She only had to come home for 1 pee break, but just break yourself.
No, it's just laughing hurts my ribs.
I hate when that happens. I'd have been dead last segment. Yeah. So any highlights for you, Corbs, on Halloween?
Well, my son went to his buddy's house. They went trick-or-treating over there. They kind of do something like that every year. Like last year, they went to another buddy's house. They hang out. They play Jackbox. I just dropped him off, and I went and won some money at the Point Place Casino.
Nice. That's not a bad Halloween at all.
No, I won $400.
Ooh, that's really not a bad Halloween.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, it was not too bad.
Good.
So took my mom out there. She's wanted to go for a while. She likes to go to Yellow Brick Road. Now there's 4 different casinos in the area. There's 3 of them are associated with, 2 are associated with Turnstone. You got Turnstone, Point Place, Yellow Brick Road. They're all together. And then there's one up near Rochester, it's Del Lago. So,
which I've heard is really cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. I haven't been up there to that one in a while. She goes once in a while. She hasn't been in a while. Actually, she went to Del Lago 2 months ago, and she won money. She went on a Sunday night, late Sunday night.
Nice.
like 10 o'clock-ish, her and one of her friends went. And she won with like $500.
Awesome.
So they found out that sometimes it's a little bit better to go later on a Sunday night after the weekend is over. The machines pay a little bit more because everybody's been there all weekend throwing their money in.
Right. Yeah.
So we were there on, like I said, we dropped Bryce off at 4 o'clock at his buddy's. He was there for 4 to 8. So we left and went out to Point Place. So, and played. So.
And Point Place, that's the one they do the sports book too, right?
They all do them now.
Oh, all of them are doing it now?
All of them are doing it now.
Nice.
If you can go to any one of them, a buddy of mine lives in Utica and drives to Turning Stone. Utica drives to Turning Stone and places his bets. But you can do it at Delago. Delago, I think, is, I want to say, Caesar, and then Turning Stone is DraftKings.
Nice.
So
cool.
you can go to Point Place. They've got a place where you can sit at Point Place, Yellow Brick Road. And even at Turning Stone, you can just sit and watch
it's got the whole huge bank,
they get the whole screens up and you can watch it. Any sporting event they've got going on, they can put it on for it. Anywhere from UFC to tennis to it's just it's all up there. So
they don't do UFC. We tried to go for the fights there last year.
So, but I'm getting at. I mean, they'll put anything up there.
Yeah, because that was the reason why, like, me and a buddy of mine went out there was to go to watch the UFC fight, and we're waiting, and we're looking at this huge bank of TVs, and we're watching.
Why they don't?
I don't know. And finally, like, it should have been on already, and so we go over to the bartender. We're like, "Are you putting the UFC fight on?" They're like, "We don't do those here." Like, fuck. So, his house.
Speaking of casinos, and maybe this is general knowledge, and you guys know this, but a few weeks ago, we were on one of our trips out of town. We're always going off to places and, do day trips. And coming back this way, and we stopped at a Save-On, which was, I want to say, over by Chittenango or something. I had to pee or something. We pull in there. I walk in the door, and I immediately see a sign that says, nobody over or under the age of 18 allowed past this line. I'm like, what the fuck could be in a convenience? I look over and there's fucking slot machines. They've got like a mini casino. Who goes to the fucking convenience store to sit down and play slots for 3 hours?
The same person looking for DVDs at the storage shop?
I don't know. Has Corbin
never done it? I've never done it, but I do know that yes, they do have the Save-Ons will have a section. I know there's one when you go out 31. So if you're going from Cicero, Bridgeport area, Brewerton area, Cicero, heading 31 towards the Turning Stone, you'll go past Point Place. It's on the way out there. But once you get past that and you go up to, I want to say 92 or whatever, but you go left, you go to Sylvan Beach. If you go straight, that takes you to Turning Stone. At that little turnabout, wherever the hell that thing is right there, that Save-On right there has slot machines inside of it.
That's so fucking weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, I don't get it, and I don't know if I've never actually been in it to play slots, and I've never actually been in that Save-On there. But I would assume people go in there and play. And I actually forgot there's actually a casino at Sylvan Beach now that's associated with. Turning Stone.
Do people go there and like lose their gas and cigarette money and have to walk home?
Probably.
This is why the rest of the world looks at us strangely.
You're not wrong.
Nope. That we walk around telling people we have to pee.
There's that too. So, all right. So moving on. I did as I said I was going to, and I put up all the photos from our costumes, all 5 of us, including Grid. Thanks again, Grid, for coming on. We appreciate it. And the voting has begun. What do you think? We keep it up one more week? What do you think? Because it went up Sunday with the episode. So we'll keep it up one more week. So we will end the voting on what?
7th?
3rd?
The 7th.
Okay, we'll let it go to the 7th, 11/7. Okay. Voting ends.
Ooh, 7-7.
All right. It's been some robust voting for us, at least. We've actually had people do it. I see everybody has got to vote at least. Well, every one of GeekPod.
You never told us what the prize pack was, or was that on purpose?
I don't think he's going to.
I wasn't intending to. I just wanted it to be a surprise for the winner. But if we want to talk about it, we can. I can tell you what's in that prize pack.
I don't want to know.
Okay, I guess we're not going to talk about it. All right. I'm not going to go into details, but the only thing I will tell you is there is a legitimate trophy in there. So
it's shaped like a penis.
I was going to say, I didn't know there was an aftermarket for, AVN awards, but that's cool.
I mean, Kevin, you're not exactly wrong. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Wait. Well, you didn't mount that big bag of dicks I gave you years ago.
That could be taken a few ways too.
Yeah, you remember the bag of dick candy I bought?
No, I still have that.
You just don't want to put on out in public.
Mounted that onto a little plaque. That's what we got going there. So let's steer this back, guys, because we need to.
Because what that means, Paul, is out of the four of us, only one of us is actually prepared and able, if they want to eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. Guess what's getting thrown in that prize pack? Like 4-year-old candy shaped like dicks. Guys, what are you watching?
Who's first?
You go first, Kev.
I saw a movie that I think is worth a watch.
Yeah.
Mayhem. 2017 when it came out. Where did my mouse go? And what attracted me to it was Steven Yeun is actually the main protagonist.
I know the one I know this one.
And when we saw the short trailer for it, there's when you go on Prime Video and Netflix, sometimes you'll see a short trailer. You click on, or not even click, you highlight the cover, and it shows you a little bit of the trailer up at the very top. So we saw that part of it, and I'm like, oh my God, it looks like Margot Robbie. It wasn't. So I thought it was Margot Robbie and Steven Yeun. We get looking at the cast of characters, and who I thought was Margot Robbie is actually Samara Weaving. But when you see her in this movie, you'll be like, very interesting. I wonder where she got the idea for that. It's pretty funny. And I'm not going to say I ever thought about doing anything that's in this movie because of the context. I mean, it's a bunch of people that get locked in a high-rise building, and they get this virus that causes them to act out their wildest dreams. And you can just imagine, I mean, if you're angry, you get angrier. If you're in lust, you get more lusty. I mean, it's pretty good.
It's a good movie.
It's funny. It's funny. Was it really well made? I don't know. Is it a great story? I don't know. It's definitely worth worth a watch though. It's pretty good.
One thing I liked about it is, at the very least, the main character, it wasn't like one of those things where they just suddenly, the naked time, and they're suddenly doing what they want to. He's very aware of his ultra violence.
Yeah.
They're cognizant of they know what's going on. They just don't care. And I think that made it a lot funnier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
Nice.
And there's some people that definitely get what they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Well, I watched the new Paranormal Activity that dropped on Friday, Next of Kin. Good soft reboot for the franchise. Completely divorced from the storyline that they've done and all the previous ones, not related to that at all, at least right now. As we've seen in that series, sometimes things will tie back, you won't even know it. But so far, it looks like it's its own separate story. Definitely interesting and new, not something we've seen before. With the antagonist, we actually see some stuff. Usually Paranormal Activity is you don't see anything, just people like fly down the hall. There's a damn physical presence this time, which is pretty fucking scary and well done. So that's cool. And the ending leaves them in a place where they can move on with the story or not. But as far as, being a fan of the franchise and understanding it's gotten a little stale, definitely a good place for them to go. If you like the series, it's worth a watch. If you got burned out on it, it's also worth a watch because it is different.
Nice. Very cool. Corbs, anything to add?
Yeah, I finished watching Dark Side of the Ring this season. I think it's all over with. Yeah. Last one was about the steroid trials from WWE.
Oh, nice.
So,
you mean the ones where Hogan went in and lied? Those ones?
Well, they talk about that stuff, and I don't necessarily think it's lying.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no. Do I have that backwards? Didn't he go in and throw Vince under the bus?
No.
He did go in and support Vince on it.
I think he just told the truth.
Yeah, he just really told it exactly like you said. He just told the truth. Everybody paints the picture of Vince McMahon as the one that was handing out the steroids,
which isn't true. Yeah,
he didn't have anything to do with it. Now there was a doctor based in, I want to say, was it Pittsburgh or Allentown, Pennsylvania? That when they were there,
it was a weird.
Yeah, when they were there, he was the one that when they were in the area, he was at all the shows, and these guys would go to this guy to get the steroids. Like he would open up his medical bag and he'd have
everything ready to go,
stacks of steroids these guys could buy off of them, and these guys would buy them. They were using because at the time it was perfectly legal to use them, and they were using them when it was legal. And when it became not legal to use them, a lot of the guys stopped. I mean, so it wasn't like they were looking. Basically, they were trying to paint Vince as a dealer,
mm-hmm.
and it was the farthest thing from the truth. They brought in all these witnesses and whatnot, and they all just basically said, "Well, we did this for Vince, we did this for Vince," and his lawyer was like, "Well, you say you were here, but the WWE wasn't here for like 6 months. So how could you drop off a package for such and such person when they weren't even there?" They basically, from what the show, and obviously they're not going to have both sides of it. They did say though that some of these guys, only one guy came in and basically said he took the steroids. There's only one guy out of all of them, and one guy came in and said, "No, I refuse to take them."
Well, they did have. I don't know if that's entirely true, because there were some statements, and I think Hogan stated this as well, that they were all taking steroids before they worked for Vince.
Yes,
that's just what you did when you were a wrestler. Yep. They took them before, during, and after they left the WWE.
Yep.
And it really didn't have anything to do with him.
Yeah, exactly. That's he was correct. They were taking it before they got there. And they were just, when they got there, they were buying them from that doctor. It was just readily available to them at that time. So, and whatnot. So, but no, Hogan didn't paint Vince as a bad guy at all. I mean, he didn't throw him under the bus. They actually thought he was going to, because when it was going on, when he was on trial, is when he left to go to WCW.
Okay, maybe that's where I was. That's where I got it from.
That's where everybody thought that was what was going to happen. He was going to come in because there was apparently some bad blood between the two of them over the way he let him go and whatnot. Because he went, used to have all these big guys, big muscular guys in the 80s and in the early 90s. It was like the Warrior, Hogan, Ravishing Rick Rude. All these guys were big cut guys, and then in the 90s with the Attitude Era, he went to the smaller wrestlers, the quicker guys, the high flyers, and stuff like that. And he let all these other guys go, the Warrior, Hogan. These guys all got cut loose. So they thought he was going to come in and basically just ramrod Vince, and he'd come in and said, no, he never once gave us steroids. He never once said that we had to take them. He never once had anything to do with it, all of it.
And wasn't that also the picture that they tried to paint? I mean, because it's been a while since obviously this thing. Wasn't that the picture they were also trying to trying to be here? And I'm not even drinking tonight. Weren't they trying to paint that picture that like Vince was like basically telling people they had to do it? Yeah. Okay. So that part I remember. Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting though. I mean, the whole season was pretty good. The whole Dark Side of the Ring was pretty good this year. A lot of good content, especially, some of the plane ride from hell, which everybody talks about, stuff like that. So I'm hoping it does come back for another season.
Yeah. I'm worried about that. Viewership is down significantly.
Yeah, I know that I watched I think it's called Dark Side of the Ring Confidential. They said they have a lot of content, but maybe not enough for an hour-long shows type of thing. So, but I enjoy it. I've been, like I said, I watch it. I tape it and I tape it on Thursday nights and then watch it usually on Fridays or whatever.
Nice. Now, is this somewhere? Is it on streaming? As well?
Well, I'm able to find it on Verizon.
Okay.
It's free on Verizon.
Okay. That's what I was asking because I want to go back and watch, and I've completely missed the boat on these. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean they cover everything. They cover obviously they cover the Montreal Screwjob, they cover Chris Benoit, stuff like that. So I mean Chris Canyon.
Yeah, I saw the ads for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one that one was pretty. I mean, I knew something about the whole situation with Canyon and whatnot. So I remember hearing about that after his wrestling career had gotten over with. So
you can catch it on the Vice website too. Their website has all the episodes up there.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, they're the hour-long episodes, so it's a little time consuming. But I mean, I think the first season, I think I missed the first couple episodes. I think I binged them in a night.
Nice.
Because it's one of those things where you get into it and you really kind of go okay, I gotta watch the next one to see what's going on.
Right.
So it's cool. It's good. It's a good show.
Nice. So me personally, I don't have much. I'm still getting caught up on World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead. But the only thing is we watched last night was the Stargirl finale. Yeah. It's still Stargirl, but it was a nice tidy wrap up for the season with that nice stinger at the end for season 3 coming already. So looks like it could be interesting with the Crocs living next door.
They had a lot of it seems like it's going to be a different world next season for them.
Well, the placard came out today for it, like the title card, and just like this one was called like Summer School or something the whole time. Next one is going to be called Frenemies.
See, I actually finished it today, and I was like, looking at the summer school thing, and I'm like, fuck, it's November. Yeah, that kind of just, I think they should have started showing it a little earlier. But there were a few episodes that dragged a little bit in the middle, but overall, good show. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I'm digging Stargirl. It's a cool show. It's definitely not top of the list, but it's good. It's for the CW. It's pretty good.
Better than Supergirl or Batwoman at the moment. I mean, I swear to God, I'm only watching Supergirl now because of time invested.
Yeah, I stopped seasons ago. I'm pretty sure we have like 3 seasons worth of Supergirl on the DVR. And I refuse to watch it. Like I think the last time I watched it was when Kevin Smith directed an episode. And that's it. Ooh. So yeah, that guy.
He was on the show last week, Kevin.
He was.
Who? We had him live outside the Quick Stop.
And they weren't open.
Bunch of savages in this town.
Assuredly.
All right. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about. Are you caught up on Fear yet, Paul?
No.
Okay. It's not worth talking about, so it's fine.
Good. So that's also sad, but
Well, no, it's not bad. It's still entertaining, and I still enjoy it. But you know how Kevin used to say that, I like it because of the comic booky characters. Well, it's kind of become a comic book all around. See, before it was cool because it was kind of a real world with comic book superhero characters, but now everything else, it's got the comic book trappings, and it's jarring, at least to me.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm going to continue on just because it was so good, so I have to stick with it. I want to see.
Coleman Domingo's playing Strand like he's in a fucking soap opera. I mean, it's just
that sucks. That's too bad.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with. I don't know. Wasn't real impressed with the. I mean, it's okay, but I don't know.
I think that says it all about it.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. The only other thing I have for my midstream is all of the teaser trailers coming for the upcoming shows. Shows like our Hawkeye that we discussed before, Masters Universe Revelation Part 2. That trailer was really good. I don't know. Some Star Wars show coming too.
Really?
Book of Boba Fett. That looks fucking awesome. I can't wait for this show.
Yeah.
Did you see the teaser for it?
Not yet. No.
It definitely looks cool. I'm pretty sure GeekPod shared it, a day or two ago.
There was there's some belief that the trailer actually reveals another spinoff that has been hinted at.
Really?
At the very least, episode 1 will, according to insiders.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that because I haven't seen or anything about that.
I have a feeling I know what it is, but that's all right.
Nice. Throw it out there if you've got a suspicion.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
It's either the Ahsoka Tano show series, whatever that is, or what the hell was the other one? There's another one that they were talking about. A little bit less known.
See, he doesn't even know. You put him on the spot, Corbs.
Yeah. Way to go.
I'd have to go back, and it's late too. So
all right.
My brain shut down about an hour ago. Just so you know.
Well, I think that's the hint to wrap this up. And what else do we got for TV talk? Kev, you finally caught up on What If, right?
Wow.
Right?
It's the first animated series I've watched with my wife, and we absolutely love the Agent Carter one, the very first one.
That was cool.
Freaking awesome. And it was just, just how they had it. I love what they do with it, and they try to follow the same kind of like story, and they use some of the same dialogue, and then they just twist it a little bit. And it's just like, wow, it's like I remember that scene, I remember what happened there, and it was like, and she and how it got reversed. I mean, if people haven't watched this, I guess, I don't know, do we care about spoilers? When she ended up, lost in the vortex of the power crystal there, what do they
Tesseract.
Call it? Tesseract, but it's actually we know it's the power crystal.
Time stone, wasn't it?
No, the power stone. It's the power stone.
It's a stone.
Base. Yeah, it's one of the Infinity Stones, regardless.
Yeah. Somebody's stoned.
Yeah, so she ends up in lost in another dimension, and she's gone for 70 years instead of being trapped in the ice.
Mm-hmm. Then came through during that scene in Avengers, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. Great show. I'm really can't wait until they do a season 2 of that. So
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that. Can I ask, do you, maybe one of you know, maybe you know, Paul, did Chadwick Boseman, did he do the voice for?
Yes, he was. He was T'Challa in those. That was actually his last MCU work.
So this was done that long ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
righty then.
Do we have anything else, or we want me to drop some wisdom nuggets here?
Drop your nuggets.
All right. I dusted my house once. Came back. Not falling for that shit again. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.